Long ago there was a young man named Joseph. He wasn't the strongest, nor the oldest, but he had something that made him different. He dreamed. Joseph had a vision that one day he would rise, and that even his brothers, who mocked him, would bow before him. He didn't understand it fully. He only knew the dream came from God. But not everyone celebrates when you dream big. His brothers hated him. They were tired of hearing about his dreams, tired of seeing their father's love for him, tired of the light that followed him wherever he went. So one day jealousy drove them to do the unthinkable. They tore off his coat, that colorful symbol of his father's favor, and threw him into a pit. They laughed as they sold him to strangers heading to Egypt. A dreamer turned into a slave. Imagine the pain, the betrayal, the confusion. One day you're your father's favorite. The next you're chained and alone. The dream God gave him must have felt like a cruel joke, but Joseph didn't curse God. He didn't give up. He worked hard wherever he was placed. In Potiphar's house he served faithfully. Even as a servant he walked with integrity, and that integrity brought him favor. But just as things began to turn, false accusation came. He was thrown into prison for something he didn't do. From the pit to slavery to prison. How much lower could life take him? But here's what Joseph didn't know. God was writing a story that even pain couldn't erase. Because when God gives you a dream, no human betrayal, no prison, no delay can destroy it. In that cold, dark prison cell, Joseph kept doing what he did best, believing. He helped others interpret their dreams while his own seemed forgotten. And one day the door to destiny opened. Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt, had a dream that no one could explain. Until someone remembered Joseph. In one moment, everything changed. Joseph was brought before Pharaoh, and with wisdom and calm, he interpreted the dream. He said, God is showing Pharaoh what he is about to do. And that insight not only saved Egypt, it saved the world from famine. The prisoner became the ruler. The slave became the savior of nations. The dreamer became the deliverer. Years later, the same brothers who sold him stood before him again, broken, hungry, desperate. They didn't recognize him, but Joseph recognized them. He could have taken revenge. He could have made them pay for every tear, every betrayal, every night in the dark. But instead he forgave. With tears in his eyes, Joseph said something that still echoes through time. You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. And that's the power of a dream protected by faith. Because sometimes your dream has to be buried before it can grow. Sometimes God hides you before he promotes you. Sometimes you have to go through the pit, through the pain, through the prison before you can reach your palace. Joseph's story isn't just about one man's rise to power. It's about every dreamer who's ever been doubted, every believer who's ever been broken, every person who's ever asked, why me? If you're in your pit right now, if it feels like your dream has died, don't give up. The same God who turned a prisoner into a prince still works miracles today. Your delay is not your denial. Your pain has purpose, and your dream, though buried, is not dead, because a seed only grows after it's buried. And when it does, the world sees the harvest God promised all along. So hold on. Trust the process. The story isn't over, because when God writes your story, even what was meant to destroy you will lift you higher